Good morning, YouTubers. Today I want to pontificate on the subject of censorship, because I think it's an important subject that I need to expose and compose. And while I do that, I'm going to check if the water is hot so that I can wash the dishes, because I don't want to wash it with cold water. And it's possible my sister left the heater on. Saturday morning in the house. As you can see, we have one child sleeping, the other child on my computer. Blah. One child sleeping, one child on the computer. The third child, which is not a child anymore, she's more like a teenager, slept over with her boyfriend, and mom's upstairs relaxing. And Sissy, yeah, Sissy got a job, man. She got a fracking job today. So because Sissy got a job, I'm gonna take advantage of that, and I'm gonna clean the house. And then clean the patio, which I'm going to do. Let's start with the kitchen, because a clean kitchen is the key. Make some pasta for everybody. People will be hungry. We already had breakfast, but I haven't had a chance to clean the kitchen. I really didn't want to if Sissy was here. But now that she's got a job, I don't mind. I don't mind doing the job. And the water is hot. The heater is on, which is perfect for my purposes. So, back to the subject at hand, which is censorship. Now, I'm a champion of the deep web, because the deep web signifies the true and the only true system of communication where there is no censorship. Here's the problem. Here's the idea. Societies are built around taboos. Those taboos generally benefit the ruling elite of the society, and they change from one culture to another. Criminals, people that break the law, people that go against the social taboos, which can be as simple as murder, usually need to hide their information, their lives, their activities from society at large. Now, in a perfect world, nobody needs to hide anything from anybody, right? The argument of all the censors on the planet is always the same. We do not live in a perfect world. Guess what? Because we don't live in a perfect world, we need a space that is free of censorship, so that the natural evolution of consciousness of mankind can take whatever form it needs to take without the censorship of the ruling elite, or the ruling class, or the ruling whatevers, to either see whatever we want to see, whatever, little babies being raped and murdered, to search whatever we want to search without the censorship of some government or agency or information control system telling us not only what to watch, but controlling, producing what we're going to watch. I'm a Hollywood guy. I come from Hollyweird. One thing I learned about Hollywood is that in Hollywood, information is money. Friendship is money. If you know the scoop on somebody, you can have them do, this is also in Washington, I suppose, you can have them can have them do whatever you want them to do. You know, because people want to hide shit, and if you know what they're trying to hide, you got them by the balls, literally. So, the idea here is that the information flow goes to the people that are in the power positions that can actually make changes to whatever's going on. That it is not open to public scrutiny or to the people in general. We do not know what is in the Area 51. That's just a fact of life. We'd all like to know, but we don't. So, the deep web, and it's funny because the moment the deep web is personalized into one person, it stops being the deep web. For the deep web to be truly the deep web, it has to be truly, totally, and absolutely anonymous. What an interesting conundrum. That what most we need, which is information, has to be anonymously given to protect the people that give it. So, anyways, where was I? Trying to formulate my thoughts as I go along here, so bear with me. I'm not. I'm first gonna clean the kitchen, Ma. Trying to formulate my thoughts here as I go along in this debate, but the basic concept is the defense of the deep web and why the deep web needs to be defended from agencies of control and censorship. You have to teach your children how to use the deep web, basically. That's what you got to do. Why your children? Because they are the future, and they are the ones that are going to be able to hack into the deep web, wherever the deep web may be at the time. When I was just starting on the internet, there was one page called theoxy.org, which was kind of like my initiation into the deep web, in a sense, because through Theoxy, you could talk about stuff like drugs, sex, and other themes, more or less uncensored, monitored. You could pretty much say anything. Most of the web pages out there, they have monitors, they have censors, they have people that control what's going on in there. I hate that. I can't handle that, because whatever information is being censored by the censor, for whatever reasons the censor is censoring the information, is not getting to me. So it doesn't help me. So Deoxy actually didn't do that. I don't know if Deoxy's still on. I hope it's still on. But Deoxy was basically a website created by a guy that called himself Dimitri, which is an acronym for DMT, and it talked about DMT. Now, oddly enough, Dimitri focused on certain writers, like Robert Anton Wilson, like Terence McKenna. I got hit to Terence McKenna through Deoxy, right? But we all go through our chapel perilous in this life. We all go through our dark side, our dark visions, our dark quest. And for the dark quest to really take place in a system of no censor, the anonymity of it is more or less important. Of course, the purpose and the objective of anonymity eventually is to become transparent. To become totally transparent. People can see through you. People can see whatever you... Just imagine for a second, you don't have any skin. Just imagine for a second that you're totally transparent and you can see the organs of the people in front of you. You can see when their heart is beating faster, you can see whatever. Now take that thought deeper and think about their soul, their spirit, their mind. Now, the Vedas tell us that the mind is collective. Okay, I kind of understand that. That makes sense to me. The collective mind is a very probable reality, because after all, our language, the way we speak to each other, is controlled by collective. It's a collective consciousness. Language is, we speak. We say there's a cup, because the word cup has been used before us by others, and that's a collective. So mind is a collective. It's a collective event. Intelligence is more personal. Not everybody sees the same cup. Some people see this cup and they see a simple cup. Some people see this cup and see a work of art. Some people see this cup and they see how the cup can help them earn $1 million. So, no joke. True story. So there you go. Collective mind, individual intelligence. So we're back to the Vedas, which is a good thing, because the Vedas are talking about that. Now, speaking of the Vedas and the deep web, just imagine for a second that we live in a world populated by telepaths and empaths. Well, in that world, everything is a deep web, because the deep, dark thoughts of every person will be plainly visible to everybody else. What a wonderful place to be. And there's your Beelzebub, right? Well, my experience in the astral realm make me tend to believe that after death, the collective mind thing is freed up, and we are basically one unimpeded consciousness that goes on and on and on and on. But to get there, in this world, in this body, we have to start through the deep web. Why? Because the deep web is where there is no censorship. I abhor censorship. I find it useful. I find it very useful. You know, in jail, man. In jail, if you don't censor your thoughts in jail, you will be a dead motherfucker. So you can't say everything to people in jail, because they'll kill you right away. Don't even think about it. We live in a short, brutish world with really stupid creatures that are generally trying to kill you to improve upon their own consciousness or whatever the fuck they think they're doing. Anyways, what was that? The deep web. It's kind of silly, very silly to think that the government can control the internet. However, I'm going to explain to you why. Internet is worldwide. Governments are regional. We're just now seeing it with Vladimir Putin and Hillary Clinton, right? We got the Pizzagate going, and we got the fact that maybe, possibly, the Russians invented Pizzagate to discredit Hillary and get Trump into office. In either case, we're talking about local governments. We're not talking about a worldwide government. The web makes it improbable that local governments continue to exist, because the web is worldwide. So the need for local censorship becomes less and less. However, and here's the really tricky part. ¿Quieres más café? Here comes the really, really tricky part of this whole thing, which I'm still trying to understand myself, in a sense. Big brother, the moment you don't have a local censor. You have a worldwide censor. Evidently, such censorship could only take place outside of the Earth, in the satellites, because the internet depends on satellites to carry the information. We have the infrastructure under the satellites via fiber optic cables. That's a good thing. And we have somehow all of the tiny little bases of the different computers in the different parts of the world that are allowing information to be downloaded and uploaded and share that information in the net. So as long as those computers are open, we got net. However, let's take a look at a web. We are talking about a web. The web necessarily has a spider. Now there can be many spiders in one web. In fact, if you look at my room, in that room I have a number of spiders in the same space, each one building their own web. They live in a kind of harmony, and each one catches their own prey. Now, in this case, the prey is us, and the spiders, oddly enough, are the censors, and the censors are obviously the governments. So we have more or less what's happening in my room as the logic of what's happening in the internet. I have a couple of corners above my office where about 15 to 20 different spiders. You could change the spiders to Russia, China, United States, North Korea, whatever. Control the web. They don't share their prey, you know. They can only eat one fly at a time, one mosquito, whatever. They got a bee the other day. That really made me sad. I don't like it when they get the bees. I got them in my room for the mosquitoes. We get mosquitoes in the summertime. So if I have a nice healthy dose of spiders up there, they reduce my mosquito population considerably. And I'd rather have spiders that are always stationary than mosquitoes that are not. Just a fact of life. But Mr. Octopus, the spiders are not stationary, they move. Yeah, above the roof, above the ceiling. That's where you always see spiders in witches' houses. Because witches are wise. Anyways, cybercraft, deoxy, internet, satellite control, evolution of consciousness, mankind, and real magic. Real magic is the transformation of consciousness from one state to another. Now, mostly in television and in the censored media, that technology leads you to a certain kind of sleep or dream, or hypnosis. And the job, oddly enough, of a human being is to wake from that hypnosis and go beyond it. Now, for instance, right here washing these dishes and listening to this crazy old fat guy talk, well, you could be entering into a state of hypnosis. You could be literally being hypnotized by me if, you know, I take the time to edit and do all the tricks, all the Hollywood tricks. But my intention is not to hypnotize you. My intention is to wake you the fuck up. The deep web is the worst of us. very worst, our worst nightmares made reality. And oddly enough, the people that search the deep web usually search it for nightmarish things. However, once you know your nightmares, you can transcend them. You can go beyond them. You can see them as what they are. And that's the point. If we censor our nightmares, we cannot transcend them, can we? You cannot go beyond them. You can't go to the dream side of the nightmare. Just imagine a place where you couldn't be able to dream. In fact, there is a creepypasta about that. It's called the Russian Dream Experiment. So imagine for a second, dear YouTubers, a place where you can't dream because your dreams are being controlled by a censor. That is hell. So, well, actually, no, hell is a little bit worse than that, but hell is not being able to change what you think. Where was I? Well, censorship. That's the subject matter. Censorship. I'm still trying to figure out the censorship thing. Just chatting about censorship, trying to figure it out. Trying to come to a conclusion. Maybe there's no conclusion. Maybe we are. Maybe my friend Tim, the frogman, said, too deep. There's no bottom to it. No bottom to the deep web. Okay, I get that. I can see that. Certainly I've reached bottom in the deep web. I've seen some things. Some things I don't really want to see. There's some things that I won't even see myself. That's the point. That's the point that I wanted to bring about. Self-censorship. Once we realize we're in the world of dualities, we get the understanding that heaven and hell are parallel universes to this moment in time in this place. This kitchen can be hell, or this kitchen can be heaven, depending on how you want to see it. We censor heaven from hell and hell from heaven based on our individuality. Sometimes folks take that individuality and try to build on it to create a commonality. It can be problematic because then you have Jim Jones, right? Or Alex Jones. So, however, when you find a community of like-minded people through the deep web, if you wish, you can narrow down the dream to the essence of it. You can narrow down the nightmare to the essence of the dream. I'll give you an example. What is the essence of the dream of Alex Jones? I think he's got two. Because he's a very angry man. And he's angry with injustice. So I think his trip is justice. He wants justice to be served. Well, what is the nightmarish part of his dream? The people that he's going to have to be doing justice against. The Hillary Clintons of the world, right? The Pizzagates, whatever. That's the point. I've been in a courthouse in front of a judge more than once where the judge has to pass sentence upon me. And in both occasions, or three occasions that I've been in that situation, you know what I've seen? The sigils of the judge behind the judge. Usually I was in court in the U.S. In Germany, I didn't have to see a judge. It was just, but I saw it in office. It was in an office, but he wasn't a judge. He was just an office worker. But in the United States, usually when you go to see the judge, you're in a courthouse, a courtroom. The courtroom has the judge above you, and behind the judge there's a sigil. Now, what is a sigil? If you know a little bit about magic, you know that it's a sacred symbol utilized for invoking demons. The judge, therefore, is possessed by a spirit. I remember in South Carolina recently, 2009, I think. It was a female judge that let me out. And I saw something so dark there. I saw something so terribly dark. I couldn't help it. I was just like amazed. You know? The sentence wasn't my favorite. I didn't complain about it. But I thought about it, and it bothered me. It's like, what's going on here? You know, what is this? What does she know that I don't? You know, and that's the point. It's who is willing to put themselves in a place to judge others, you know, when we are all guilty. All